how's everybody doing today? We are going to make some garden salsa today because the garden has been giving us tons of Roma tomatoes. So this is what we have. We've got Roma tomatoes, and this is all on the board is from the garden, and then I'm going to have to supplement with some, but I'll let you know here. So we have a lot of Romas. We have a few limes that the lime tree gave us. They're a little ripe, but that's fine. So let's talk about my garlic. Literally, this is all the garlic my garden made. And look how tiny they are. I do not know what happened with this mess, but we're going to attempt to use these anyways. And then check out these tiny onions. These were supposed to be big onions. I don't know what happened. So regardless, we have lots of Romas. We have a little bit of onions. We have a little bit of garlic. And then we have this stuff from the store because we may need to add some more things. So I like to make different kinds of salsa, different jars, different types of ingredients. That way, you don't want the same thing all the time. So sometimes I use cilantro. Sometimes I don't. But we're going to make a little jar with cilantro. And then using these other ingredients, we'll have jalapenos, onions, and then the main star of the show, the tomatoes from the garden. So what I'm going to do first is we're actually going to roast the vegetables in this pan. So I'm going to add my oil in. I'm going to use avocado oil. You could just put a little bit of that in the pan. And then we're going to put in as many tomatoes as we can, and I'm probably going to have to do these in batches because there's quite a bit. So I think what I'll do first, let's separate this up into like 4 categories. So maybe 3. Let's do 3 batches. So we'll have that batch is tomatoes, and then let's get our onion cut up so that we can have those in there. I'm just going to get these little peels off here and throw them in. Obviously, probably, one of these will be one batch for about 4 of these tiny onions. I mean, it's not a total loss, the garden with the onions, but I was really hoping for a lot more. It just did not pan out this year. And, that's how gardening is. It's unpredictable, but you just have to stick with it. One year you may have a ton of onions. One year you may not. And that's the case this time. But we're going to throw them in there, get them all peeled up. Okay, got all the onions peeled. Throw those in. And then we're just going to toss them in as well. And since we have a little bit more room, let me put my pan up here so you can see. Since we have a little room left, I'm actually going to throw as many tomatoes as I can in at once. Just like to have a little bit of room so that you can turn them around over and over so they get charred on each side. Okay, so that's what we have right now. I'm going to go ahead and start roasting them. And we'll let those get roasting. While those are roasting, let's go ahead and get rid of this trash. We will work on getting this garlic done. So, a few Christmases ago, my sister-in-law got me this cool little gadget. And I love this thing. I use it all the time because I use fresh garlic. I don't use the minced stuff that's already done for you. But since these are so tiny, I'll show you how it works. You just put this inside here and literally roll it out. And look, it peels that off. All the papery stuff. It peels it right off. And then your garlic's ready to go. So we're just going to get that done here on all these tiny garlics. That did end up having 3 cloves in it, even though it was so small. I mean, we'll use it. Wasn't a total loss in the garden. Let's see how many this one has. We got 1, 2, 3, We got 4 out of that one. Well, a little bit more actually. Maybe 5, 6 right there. All right, let's go ahead and get some of this cilantro chopped up. I don't think we'll need to use all this. This isn't from the garden. Got this at the store. I did have a lot of cilantro earlier on, but it ripened up and was ready to harvest way earlier than my tomatoes, so I wasn't able to save it. You know, cilantro doesn't last that long. I do have a lot of cilantro. Of course, when it's a plant, it's cilantro, but then when it turns to seed, they call it coriander. And so I have a lot of that out in the garden that I need to harvest. Probably need to do a whole episode on that, showing y'all what I do with those seeds. Then I can keep them and plant them for next year and get more cilantro. Let's get this all chopped up. Oh, it smells so good. Probably, I'm thinking like about that much for each one that I want cilantro in. So I'm going to stop there and see how far that gets us. Like if I make 2 batches with that. Wipe my hands off. You guys, look how good this is looking. These are charring up so nice. Even the little bitty onions here. And we just really want to get that kind of, that nice color going right there. Look at that onion. Okay, everybody, let's check on our roasting over here. I think we're about done. Yeah, that looks really good. Get a couple mittens on here. It's going to be really hot. I'm going to move this over here. Oh, that smells good. So what we're going to do, this will probably, minus a couple of jalapenos, make a couple batches. So I'm just going to put what ingredients we want here into the blender. I like to put the jalapeno first so it breaks it up down in the blender. I find if I put the tomatoes first, they're too watery, and then it won't like grab the jalapeno down in there. So jalapeno first. And then let's put how many tomatoes we want. 1, 2, 3. Let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's do 10 just to keep it even. And then throw a couple. Let's do 3 onions. Okay. And then we'll keep this for the next batch. Garlic. Let's do 3 cloves. Okay. And then this one, we're going to throw a little cilantro in. Just going to do maybe like that much, like a handful. I like to put a little bit of salt. I don't know, maybe like a teaspoon. I'll just guess, I'm not a measurer. And then secret sauce here. This organic red wine vinegar. I used to work at a Mexican food place in my 20s when I was in college, and this was like the secret sauce. I love the little like bite that this gives to the salsa, so I always just pour a tiny bit of this in the bottom. Let's see, probably about, I would say it's probably about a teaspoon. And then let's get our little lime from the garden. I'm going to use 1. I might cut it in half. Ooh, that's juicy. And I've got my little gadget here that I can squeeze in the lime. Oh my gosh, this is going to be so good. Okay, let's blend it up. I do it on food chop. While that's doing its thing, I'm going to grab some chips. We got to taste test it. Zochito. I'm gonna get that cilantro like really cut up in there. All right. Ooh, look at that steam coming out. Let's check it out. Ooh, it's hot. It's so fresh. I think it could use just a tiny bit more salt. We put about, what, a teaspoon? Let's add a little bit more. It's a little bit, the tomatoes are a little bit on the sweet side, I can tell. Give it another pulse. Let's see where that's at. Perfect. All right, so we got that first batch done. What we're gonna do, move all this stuff. I've got my handy mason jars here in this little funnel. Just gonna pour it in. And I'm actually not gonna like can these, preserve them. To be honest, we eat this salsa like so fast, there's no reason to. So I'm just gonna pour it in, but I love to use these jars to keep it nice and fresh. Okay, so 10 tomatoes. We got a little bit, I don't know if you can see that still down in there. Let's get that right to the top. 10 Romas, y'all saw the size. That's exactly one jar. Perfect. Okay, so yum. Doesn't that look great? All right, so I'm gonna seal it up with this little sealer I got. I really like it. So since I'm not like formally canning it, I'm just gonna seal it with my little sealer to get all the air out of it. So put that on, make sure it's centered. And then this, I got off Amazon. It's just a little jar sealer. And what it does, it just takes the air out so it keeps it more fresh. You just pop it on here. And then you hit the on button and it takes that air out of there. It takes it about like 90 seconds to do its thing. All right, while that's doing that, let's get on the next batch. Okay, let's do 10 again. That was a good, oh, almost forgot, put the jalapeno first. 1, what we got in there? 2, 3, 4, pretty much all of these. We're just gonna put the rest of this batch in there. Okay, we got our tomatoes in. I think we did 3 onions. You know what? I'm gonna just use all the rest of these little tiny onions and throw them in there. Okay, this one I'm not gonna put cilantro. I'm gonna flip it, change it up. Let's put our garlic in. I love garlic. Let's do 4. Whoops, dropped one. There's one. Okay, and then let's move that a little bit. Put our limes in. I think the 2 limes was perfect, so I'm going to do the same this time. 1. Well, I guess it's 1 lime cut in half. It's not 2. 2. Okay. Salt. We're going to do 2 this time. 1, 2. And our special ingredient. Red wine vinegar. There we go. All right, let's get this bad boy going. good. Taste test. That is so good. I personally prefer it without the cilantro. It can go either way. This kind of gives it a more like fresh pop, like, I don't know, what's the word, like a zing. I don't know. This is my favorite right here. Same ingredients, sans cilantro. It's so good. All right, let's pour this one in. Y'all, that is just the perfect amount of tomatoes, 10 each. That one's a little bit less. All right. 20 garden tomatoes right there. Made us 2 jars of salsa. Easy peasy. I love it. Thank y'all for watching. Have a good day.